talking about puking all over the floor. So, as someone who has been walking the plant medicine path for a while, but more recently entered the wonderful world of ayahuasca, uh, do you see any similarities between ayahuasca and the plant medicine path and Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'm really grateful that I did this work of understanding energy and money before I went into ayahuasca. And yeah, just to be transparent and clear, I've only done one ceremony, 4-day ceremony. So, uh, very new into the world. I'm excited to continue down the path and sit with medicine again for multiple more times over the course of my life. But there was this feeling when I entered, when the medicine started to kick in, and there was this like overwhelming gratitude and appreciation that I did the work to understand energy and how like energy operates within nature and how the money should be a best representation of nature and energy. And it was just it really helped me like get through the experience to um to truly understand like I'm kind of rambling, losing my thought train here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's a tricky one, and like for me, I think what you were saying then, like just at the end of like your last rant, there's there's something about like plugging the holes in your bucket, about the way that we make money, but then also the way that we have to plug the holes in our own bullshit. There's so much energy loss. And I feel like the medicine really helps align us with our own bullshit and all the places that we're lying to ourselves and all the places that we're cheating ourselves and other people, and then to just like realign with that idea of like freedom and sovereignty at like every level. And I look at the ayahuasca community and the plant medicine community, and they're all tapped into like the the matrix and the bullshit that's around us. And they come to ceremony and they're like, I feel so good, I feel so clean, I just like want to be a better person, all this stuff. And then they go back to their 9 to 5 that they fucking hate and they feed the machine that they fucking hate.
Right.
And then all the Bitcoiners are like storing up the energy and they're like feeling good about the future and what they're doing, but they're just full of their own bullshit of how they're falling short in their own lives and don't even realize it, in the ways that like they navigate their relationships and their businesses and all this thing. Cause it's like, I gotta get the Bitcoin.
Yeah. Right.
And I feel like the two of them together create this balance where the internal world is aligned with like freedom and sovereignty. And then your external world is aligned with freedom and sovereignty. And if there's people listening who are like on the plant medicine path, you fucking need Bitcoin. And if you're a Bitcoiner, you probably need the medicine as well to actually do the Bitcoin justice. In if we create a new kind of culture and economy and all of these things to be an actual fucking human being.
Right. Yeah, full alignment between the internal and the external world and how you integrate and operate between both of them. Yeah, one thing I would say that I experienced in ayahuasca was like feeling my body. It was very like somatic experience for me. I actually didn't puke over the 4 days, but I did purge out the other way quite a bit. um, but it was this like this intelligence and knowledge coming in and like feeling this electrical currency vibration move throughout my body and understanding that like how intelligent my body is, and I have no idea what it's doing, but there is like an unbelievable amount of intelligence there, and it wants to be as efficient and productive as possible. Like that is its natural state, right? Is to just be this like perfect machine that just like when I want to move my hands, like I don't think about anything. Like I don't think about my heart beating. I don't think about like my calf muscle like moving. When I play sports, it just like does shit, right? With very little thought. And so it is this like perfect mechanism and like so much appreciation for the meat suit that I'm like my consciousness has been like implanted into and how it just like navigates the world around it with no real like forceful function, it feels like. And so in the experience it was just like a deep sense of love and appreciation for this like magnificent machine that we've been imported into. Right. And so I think, I don't know, like a lot of like self-love and appreciation comes from that. So like healing the inner world. And then yeah, when you come back out and you realize that like your body is this perfect machine that wants to be happy and healthy and efficient and productive, and that is its natural default state. What system do you want to like align yourself with that mirrors that? And the closest thing I can find to that, I think, is Bitcoin, right? So like, I agree that connecting those two worlds and like having one without the other um, could be a little untethering because they do seem to like just fit together like this perfect puzzle piece.
Yeah. And I think you see, like, I kind of just see it in the way that some of the Bitcoiners navigate. And there's this idea of like being based, you know, but like a lot of it actually is like from a position of hate, you know, like I'm based, fuck this person, fuck them, fuck their ideas. And then along with that, it's like all the fucking Bitcoiners are carnivore too, which creates even more of that energy. of like fuck them. I'm like you're like in that instinctual energy, you know? And it's like, okay, these people are going to be the ones who shape the future. And that's the leadership, you know? That's who we trust, you know, the massive economic change of hands that's happening, you know? It's kind of it's a hard one for me to reckon with sometimes because they're just so fucking full of hate.
So are you talking about, Bitcoiners that you know personally, or are you talking about, like, the talking figureheads that we see on the internet?
I would say the talking figureheads more so. I don't usually hang out with people that are fucking like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's interesting because, I don't like, I don't think the internet's a real place. Um, I don't get me wrong, I listen to a ton of podcasts of people that I think are, like, very real humans. I think they're down to earth. I think they get it. They're running their podcast because they wanna, like, share ideas. They're not into it for any sort of, like, nefarious motivations. But 90% of the internet is people that, are being incentivized by a corrupted system, right? So, like, if you are spewing out hate or division, it creates more rage bait, therefore it gets you higher clicks. So, like, you're like, you did that once and you're like, "Man, maybe I should turn up the hate." You know, that was pretty good. Like, that video got to, like, 1,000,000 views pretty fucking quick because I was, like, talking some shit. And so, like, I just don't think that's real. I don't think that that has an impact because, like, I see a ton of hate and division and chaos, on the internet, but then when I step outside and I, like, talk to people that I work with or, like, I go, you know, play hockey with my friends or go spearfishing, like, everyone's, like, super reasonable, you know? Like, I just have all these, like, very reasonable, rational people around me that can, like, engage in open thought and dialogue and, like, see the nuance in subjects and, like, not have to, like, take a side and be hateful or be vengeful. So I'm just like, I don't and maybe that's just the bubble that I'm in, and like you said, it's just like you choose to surround yourself with like-minded good people. Um, but I'm just very aware that, like, the people that I see, the big voices that I see, are playing a fucking game, and they're incentivized by a corrupted incentive structure. Yeah. And I don't know if they're gonna be the ones that inherit the earth. Like, I don't think you don't fucking win with that kinda attitude. Like, there if you are spewing hate or division, like, you're part of, like, the fiat, that death rattle, like, you're on your way out as well. That shit's not gonna last. No one's making it through that fucking lifespan.
And that's where Bitcoin I think is so beautiful in its core, where you feel this like energy of, you know, the control that's like coming against you and you're like, "Oh, do I riot? Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I fight?" All this kind of stuff. And in reality, you just hold Bitcoin, you know? That's like all you have to do.
Yeah.
And it just makes everything way more peaceful, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've been learning about the, like, non-aggression principle quite a bit, and Satoshi specifically talks about it, like, many times in the white paper. And it's just that, like, this will be a system where, like, force and coercion cannot exist because, the incentives are directly against force and coercion. And so, like, the second that force or coercion would to enter the system, it would inherently destroy it. And therefore, it is like can't survive. It's like coming into this environment where, like, it immediately gets squashed out. Um, and I think that's a really interesting thing to think about in life is like being a part of systems and networks where there is a strong non-aggression principle. And so within Bitcoin, there's a lot of people that can be very forceful about, like, oh, you need to have this thing. Like, and I do agree that, like, people do need Bitcoin, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it. It's an open door, but, like, you don't have to walk through it. And I think that's an interesting thing with uh, plant medicine is, like, the door's there for you. Like, here's the medicine, here's the mushrooms, like, whatever it is. Do you want to take them? If not, that's okay. You don't have to walk through the door, but, like, you might find something pretty cool on the other side of that door. And so, like, come in, and then, like, you can come in, hang out in here, like, step through the doorway, come spend some time in here, and guess what? You can leave whenever you want as well, right? Completely, like, no force, right? It's just like, what was that?
Kind of.
I guess. Yeah, you don't really, like, it's true. You don't leave, but, like, what I mean by that is, like, just because you drink ayahuasca or sit with, mushrooms in a ceremony, it's like, it doesn't mean you have to start, like, dressing differently, become a fucking shaman, like, do all this shit and, like, start speaking very spiritually and, like, join a fucking cult, like, whatever it is. It's like, you don't have to do anything, right? It's going to change you. Of course, it's going to change you, but, like, there is no, like, you don't walk in and then you're, like, placed on this distinct path that you have to follow. It's literally just like you come in and you explore. And if you don't want to explore anymore, like, you don't have to. You can, like, leave. You can come and go. And that those principles lie within Bitcoin as well. It's like I can come in, nobody has to ask my permission. I don't have to ask anybody else's permission to, like, buy this money or use this money or transfer it to someone else. I can come, I can do it, and then I can leave. And there's no gatekeepers. Like, there's nobody standing anywhere that's going to be like, well, hold on a second. I don't think you can leave now that you're in. It's like that would be a fucking controlled, centralized cult. And I don't want to be a part of those.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think, hey, just to like finish up, it's been such a good conversation so far. It's epic. Um, What's kind of like your plan or your philosophy of like what you're going to do over the next sort of 5, 10 years? Like obviously, nothing comes to fruition as we think it may, but just like the direction that you're heading in as an ayahuasca drinker and a Bitcoiner entrepreneur. Like, how do you see the next part of your life kind of unfolding?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really thought seriously about having children, and that's starting to become a larger thing that's been coming up in the past couple of years. Uh, so that's something. That's a big life shift, as someone being like, I don't think I really need to do it. To now this kind of creeping, like, no, I think I need to do it, right? Like, what else? What else would I be doing? So thinking about going into my 40s and 50s without starting a family is starting to feel like something that I don't necessarily want to do. Um, so that's a big one. That's a big shift, and that's pretty new. That's a new feeling. Um, Aside from that, aligning community and thought with more and more people that are open and curious to like play in kind of the gray area of the world. And the two really most fun gray areas that I've played in are Bitcoin and uh, psychedelic medicine, plant medicine. Just like endless curiosity within those two networks, right? To explore. Um, and so, where is that? Like there's a lot of great people here on the West Coast in Vancouver Island, but I don't know if I feel like super connected to this place. I don't have any family here. Um, they're all kind of spread around in different places. So I think what I'm saying is like 5, 10 years. I don't know. A lot of shit's changed in the last like 2 or 3 years. When you start really shaking things up with understanding how energy networks in the world works, and then combining that with plant medicine. So very much in a state of flux, but I think there'll be some big moves in the next couple years, like physical big moves, where I choose to live, and me and my girlfriend choose to like live and start a family. Um, and then that new place will be dictated upon, is that tribe there? Like, are those people there that we can all get together and like, you know, be in close physical contact with each other and share ideas and build things together, um, and just play in that like curiosity of life. So stay tuned.
Hmm. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, and I think like what you brought up with children is like a really interesting one because both Bitcoin and ayahuasca seem to just fill you with hope. And I think a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, especially back in Sydney, having children is like almost not even on the table because money's so tight, and because to some degree, like they don't see the future as a beautiful place and they don't even really want to bring children into it. And I feel like it's a very natural thing that once you start to find the Bitcoin signal and ayahuasca and all this hope for the future, that you're like, let's do it. Let's bring them in. Let's start the next generation. And also, one thing I've realized is like turning people into Jedi's is fucking hard. I feel like I could just make them.
Yeah. There you go.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, don't forget to like and subscribe below. It really helps a growing channel like this out. And click up here, it'll take you to a collection of the best this podcast has to offer.